Welcome to Indian News. Our guest today is Mukta Munjal. She will be honored as one of the outstanding women of 2025 at our annual Women of the Year Awards Gala on March 8 at Burlington Marriott. We are going to talk to her about her journey as an actress, how she found her passion in acting, and also her professional life as a consultant to a tech company.
So I think at one point in life where everybody feels that there is a low time, you struggle with, when you are in the high school, you struggle with so low self-esteem, right? Even though everything is going well, but you still feel less of yourself. How you overcome that is your journey. I was at one point suffering from low self-esteem because I thought I was not the usual size that my age girls were. So it was hard to understand that yes, I am beautiful, I matter. But over the period of time, I think when you know that you've done enough, the size and these things don't matter. You start to look beyond the exterior and then you find your inner journey. And that's when I started feeling that when I go on that stage or when I do a fashion show, I feel anybody can do it. It's the confidence of your journey that should come on stage, not your body, not your size. So if people think that they're not good enough, they're not pretty enough, just believe in the process of your life, believe in the process, believe in your journey and show up. I want to highlight the importance of mentorship. I was fortunate enough to get mentorship in my life right from the very beginning. When I was in school, my principal, whose actually name was Mukta Sharma, she was my mentor. She always thought there was something in me that I could carry on my life and I could do some bigger things. Later in life, you meet your college lecturers or you meet your family provides you the mentorship. For me, my dad was my mentor. But then, like in theater, I found my mentors in Subrata Das and Jayanti Bandyopadhyay, who allowed me to grab those opportunities and make you learn what you're made of. So that mentorship is so important because that can keep you grounded. When you start achieving things, when start seeing the success, it's very easy to steer away. What keeps you grounded is the mentorship. The mentorship can come from your books as well, but find that person. In my cases, it has been my teachers, my family, my even husband. He has been my mentor and he's been my biggest critique, but has kept me grounded. And I hope I become that mentor for somebody in this life. I think my biggest driver is creating an impact and then lifting everyone around me. Everywhere I go, I think my commitment is towards empowerment. If I'm working with my kids, my goal is to empower them to make the right choices in life. I don't know if I'll be successful, but that's what I'm trying. If I'm working in the theater, I want to empower my fellow artists to create the same impact that I am trying to create, and then support the community theaters who are working very hard. When I'm working in the field of pageantry, my goal is to empower all the ladies, empower all the teen girls who are suffering from mental issues these days. And I want them to see themselves and see their self-worth because they are important and their lives count.
Mukta, welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Binderji.
This is the first time you are here.
Yes, this is my first time.
Excellent.
I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. Perfect. So let us start with, I think, a couple of weeks ago when I was talking to you and you were talking about acting and you mentioned that through SETU, you really found yourself in acting.
Yes.
So tell us, how did you find yourself in acting?
Sure. First of all, thank you, Binderji. I'm very honored to be here and very honored to be part of the 10 outstanding women. I think this will go for a very long time in my life. I'll remember this incident. So thank you for giving this platform. In terms of acting, I think we are all Bollywood country, right? So I think in our hearts, we always have a desire to act. And I thought maybe, one day I will. But life goes along, and then you are working through your uh, college, your schools, and you never think that you will ever go back to your hidden desires. And this was one of my hidden desire. And I think when I came to US, it was I knew there was an organization like that, SETU. I had done some theater in college and was always on stage, but never thought that somebody could give me a chance, or there was an opportunity once you grow up, once you get married. But then I think I came to know about this, but still, I was still growing, and I had young kids, and but I knew a lot of friends who were there, and I could go and see. I used to go and watch their shows, and I always thought maybe I'll do one day, but logistically it was not possible. My kids were young, and then about in I think COVID time, there was in the production called V, which was on the women empowerment. And then I was given a role of Michelle Obama. So I had to do a monologue on Michelle Obama. And I thought, that's a tall order. But I think the beauty of Setu and our co-founders, Subrata Das and Jayanti, I think they let you be yourself. They allow a lot of people to come in and explore themselves. And I think one thing that I always remember for him, that I will not let you go on stage if you're not ready. So if he has the confidence in you, I thought maybe it is something I can try.
Now, did you act before, or this was the first time you acted?
In my college time, I've done some drama. But I'm more of a dancer. I was a dancer than a drama. But every time that intrigued me. It's like maybe a little bit I could do it. But I didn't know what is my scope. How much can I do acting? So that was my actual first thing, where I was in front of people, in front of some senior artists, in front of a director who has been doing it for many, many years. So that I think that built up my confidence.
And so how did it have any transformative impact on you as a Mukta Munjal, as a person?
It does. I think once is because you know yourself in a certain way, that you are a consultant, you are a technologist, you are a mom. You don't know what else can you be, right? And that's what we see in the movies, that you can be an actress, or you can be an entrepreneur, or you can be a rural lady, or you can be a mom, you can be anybody. So that I think, and I did not know that I can do these things. I thought my age is not appropriate. But when I started going through those roles, and especially when they have a social element to it, all Setu's productions have a social bend. And then you start thinking about those roles. Recently was, Birth of Boson, when I was a mother of Bose. And I don't think I was in that. I have grown up to be, I feel that I'm an empowered woman. And at that time, what was that time like? To think through that, and then you go through the layers that you have inside. Like maybe if this was the case, you put yourself in those positions, and then you start learning about yourself.
What are some of the other plays of Setu you have acted on?
I've done this Michelle Obama was one, and then I played a role of a prostitute in Mini Love. That was my first one, and first actual stage production. Then I did Andha Yug. I was leading a team of being a narrator, and then they were other chorists. Then the recent one was a very big production, which was a hit, Hush Hush.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that was the first time we did the comedy. And then Birth of Boson. And then the new one that we're coming in March, which I think everybody should come and see, is in March. It's called When Gandhi and Mohammed Meet. So it's a month-long production, and we're very excited about it.
And what role you were playing there?
So I am playing a very different role that I'm not. And it's a very muted character. I'm playing a role of a lady called Kalpana Yadav. She's from not rural, but lower middle class. And then she has no say. She's not empowered. Nobody listens. There's nothing she can change in her family. So her daughter needs support. She can't do it. So it is a role that I have to say, how did those ladies survive? And so I have to really work hard.
So that's another question, at least to me, that say when you played Michelle Obama or a prostitute, how did you train? What was going through your mind? Did you really feel the character, or how that happened?
I think that's a process. So one of the things that we do in SETU is we have to internalize our character. That means we have to prepare, have to think through where was this person born, what did that person do, and then you watch some movies, you go through those, and you write down what is my character. So when I prepared for Hush Hush, I thought it was a very simple character where I just had to probably just give some expressions. But what is my backstory? Right? So you have to write down those backstories. When I was playing prostitute, what is my backstory? Where did I come from? What did I wanted to become? And then how did I end up here? And how do I react to certain situations? If I get different kind of men, how am I going to react to those? And then what did those ladies think? So it's a part of a preparation and training that you go through. And it is, I think, kind of pertinent to do a good job.
So, and what was the reaction of your husband when you were talking about these roles and all?
I think he's very supportive. He's one of the supportive person I have ever met. He's very passionate and he understands passion. No matter what you do, I think he just is like, okay, what are you doing? He would, raise some eyebrows, but eventually he understands this is a process. Everything is coming from a platform of passion and creativity. And so I think he just gets along. There is no way going back.
Very good. Now, when you mentioned hidden desire, this was your hidden desire.
Yes.
I talked to many people, interviewed many people, and I don't remember anybody talking about their hidden desire. So that's a good, you talked about that. Any other hidden desires?
There are many, right? I want to make, because I've explored acting now, and I feel like certain things should be done this way. And my next level is giving the same platform to somebody else. I was given this platform. I think I was fortunate enough to get the right mentorship from my co-founders and my seniors. But I feel like I can be that person for other.
And it is a big step that at this age of life, you really say, "Oh, I want to try." And I'm a big fan of SETU Play. They do a fantastic job of very professionally done.
Very professional.
And to be recruited to do that is a great congratulations on that.
Yes,
excellent.
And I think it's the commitment. I think the only thing requires in SETU is the commitment. So every weekend we have set practices. Subrata is very particular about the timings. Everything has to be done in a certain way. There is a process that you get committed to, because you're just not doing it for yourself, right? You're doing it for the other actors. You're doing it for the production, and you want to bring a quality product.
And so much commitment for the time itself can be very scary for many people.
Yes,
because that's really a lot of. Now, tell us about your professional life. You work for a tech consulting company. So, what is your role there, and how long you have been there?
So I have about 20 years of experience in the tech company. I was recruited as a consultant in TCS right after the college. And then I did some consulting for a few years. Then I went into the insurance products. I was building a product. I started as a developer. And then eventually I started liking working with the teams, that I can build better teams. And there were some soft skills that I thought I had that can be used in that profession. And then I slowly went into the implementation manager, and then now I'm a solution owner in one of the leading consulting company in Boson called Slalom. And I get to work with a lot of clients.
So tell me the Slalom about that company. What exactly they do?
So Slalom is purely a consulting company. So you get to work with a lot of clients. And then you become part of their journey, business transformations. You want to do a cloud transformations. You want to do data transformation, data migration. So they hire us at the beginning of their vision that this is what we want to do. And that's when our whole team of Slalom will go in. I will have a team of solution architects, QE architects, and then solution owner. So I own the solution, and we talk to the client. We understand what their needs are, and then we give them a time. Okay, this is what you need. Does this align with your vision? And then we implement the solutions with them, and then we walk out.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's come back to some fun part. So after camera, we were talking about the question which we had sent to all the 10 outstanding women, that if you have to choose one, love and trust, what will you choose? And you had a very strong opinion on trust. So talk about your theory of trust in love and marriage.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I have strong opinion about it, that I am a loving person, but I think trust is the one that I would go for. My vote is for the trust, because not just marriage, but any relationship. Like even I was telling you earlier, right? My relationship with my dad. When you go out of the house, there's that trust that keeps you connected. Trust keeps you accountable. And so if you don't have the trust, that love is going to eventually perish. I don't know how much your love is there, but if I don't trust you, when I turn my back, what are you going to do? Your actions are going to be, can I trust with my vulnerable moments? Okay, you're going to speak something about me in my presence or absence, those are going to be two different things. I don't think I can trust you. Even though I love you, that love is going to perish. I don't think I can continue loving you if I cannot trust you.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned your father.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout your answers, we could see that, you often talk about him. So what role he played in your life and how he inspired you?
I think he played the role of that progressive mentor that I was very fortunate to have early on in my life. I think he's the one who taught me how to rediscover yourself at any moment. Life happens, it goes up and down, but you have to be ready to just adapt and then move on. When things were not right for him at one point in his life, he just rediscovered himself. Relocated from one place to another. He left Panipat, he went to Gurgaon because he thought that's where the progress is. And he learned how to do the emailing and he understand the computers. So I think it's the matter of rediscovery. And he stood for me when I thought no one else would stand for me, for my dreams. And he knew my dreams were more than where I was. So he supported me.
So tell us about growing up. Where did you grow up and where did you went to school, college?
I grew up in a small town called Panipat in Haryana. I was there till 10th standard. And then after that, I went to Delhi. DPS Puram is where I, studied. Delhi Public School. And I did my high school there. And I grew up in a very big, loving family. I'm very close to my siblings, my family, and it was just always fun. I was involved in a lot of things, even during that time. I used to be called an all-rounder. But I didn't know. But studies was the one that I thought my dreams were very big, and I thought I would become an IAS officer or I'd become a doctor. And then the only way to grow was through education. So I thought, coming to Delhi would be the one thing. And then I moved on to engineering and my dream was to come to America. And I thought, everybody talks about America. I need to be there.
So now, thanks for sharing your dreams. Mm-hmm. So my question to you will be that, yes, you had those dreams then, mm-hmm. and now this is your life. So can you reconcile these two together, mm-hmm. as far as you are concerned? That your life, the way it has unfolded, that was dream, this is where you are. Yeah. Did you think about this, or did you think that life will unfold like this?
No, I think I had a set vision of my life, that this is what I'm going to do. When you study, you get better positions and you do certain kind of jobs and you get married and you marry a certain type of guy. And this is how the set mold was. What happens after that is what you make your life of, right? I thought I'm all set. I've done the engineering and I've done all the jobs. I'm in America. But then after that, it was like, this is not something that I'm just made for. I'm not made for a 9-to-5, just the 9-to-5 job. I need to find more dimensions. And I knew my dimensions was in the creativity. And I think you have to be ready to be able to take some opportunities, have some open mind about it, that if this happens, what can it do for you? And I think I just kept taking chances and meeting the right people. And mentorship was big thing in my life. And just talking to a lot of people, keep widening your horizons. And then that's where I found myself sometimes in the right company, at the right place, and taking the right chances.
So you, of course, one route you take is SETU. Mm-hmm. What else you do in the artistic world?
So in 2019, I joined Mrs. Bharat pageant. I was crowned as one of the crown winners. And then I went to nationals and I won a crown there. This was something I don't think I've ever imagined. Mm-hmm. I was a very studious person and I thought I would never go into a fashion industry and do that. But I think that journey continued. That empowered me so much because I was able to create impact. Then a lot of ladies, a lot of women, even men, they started looking up to me that we have the same mold, that 9 to 5 job, 2 kids, husband, settle. How is she able to do other things? And I think I probably opened that possibility for a lot of people, that there is a life after this. You can't just stop here. And that pageant provided me that platform to talk to a lot of people. I met a lot of people and then started creating that impact. And I'm the vice president of Mrs. Bharat New England now. And then in the last 6 years, I've mentored a lot of people, mentored a lot of teen girls who kind of suffered with low self-esteem. But they've gone to become, entrepreneurs. They have opened their companies and designer labels. It's very fulfilling.
So what is? I'm glad you mentioned low self-esteem among girls. What are some of the causes of this low self-esteem?
I think it's right now it's the competition and the comparison that you do with the others, and then how you see yourself. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? I had a low self-esteem at one point because I thought I was not enough. Even if I was doing everything, I still felt that, in that teenage years, you feel like that girl is looking better, or that person is has better grades than me. So you're never enough. And that feeling of never enough never does not go away until you have that right mentorship. I felt that when in my low time, that's why I bring my dad a lot. He always told me, you're the best. No matter how I looked, no matter where I went, he just said, you are the best. And that best feeling stayed with me. I said that kept bringing my esteem up. And I want to do the same thing for other girls, that don't worry about what others are looking, how others are looking, what they're doing. You are enough.
So, and self-esteem continues even when you are grown up.
Yes.
I think, when sometimes it becomes more because you always try to figure it out and you struggle. So to adults, people who are in middle age or even older, what suggestions you will give them to bring that self-worth or I prefer to call it self-worth,
yes.
not self-esteem.
Yeah.
What are some of the tips you will give?
I think it's
or how you have brought that up in yourself.
I think it is, again, going back to, I read a lot of books as well. And when you don't get your answers anywhere, you go back to the books. And I have some self-help books that I have referred to. I've talked to a lot of people. I think eventually I started getting the feeling I am enough. When I started doing a lot of things, when I talked to a lot of people, and you start seeing the impact that you're creating, and it felt like you are enough. It's you don't have to worry about a lot of things. And then having the right circle of friends, having the right circle of your
That's
support.
very important.
Yeah. So if you have people who are always putting you down, comparing it to other folks, or just judging you, is not going to do anything good for you. So you should know when to just walk away from those situations. If you don't feel respected, if you don't feel supported, just walk away.
I always have my theory on this one, that if you are talking to somebody and after talking you feel that you are going nuts, you are upset.
Yes.
That's the person you should stay away.
Yes.
And if you feel good after talking to the person, then that's the person you want.
Exactly.
Because ambience, the environment makes a huge difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course, we are born with our DNA, but the ambience really has a huge impact on that. Now, you talked about self-help books. So I have also noticed that, sometime when you tell somebody that I read self-help books, people look down upon you. They say, oh, this person, why you need self-help books?
Yeah.
And for me, it was also a big shocker is that when I had just moved to Boston and I was talking to one of the top rising star real estate investor, broker. And I asked him, how do you spy? He was number one in the whole country. And he said, I read a lot of self-help books.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a shocker. I said, really? And then I still remember, so I asked him, give me that book, which is your favorite. And he said, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich.
Grow Rich, yes.
And after the interview, I went to the bookstore, bought that book, and I read the book. It was fascinating. So I think there is also a lot of judgment and taboo in people labeling, oh, this person reads self-help book, must be
Yeah.
not self. But I think it's very powerful
It is.
because you have guts and courage to improve yourself and make yourself better. That's why you're reading that.
Right. And I think I give a lot of credit to books. And growing up, when you have your family, they are steering you away. When you're away from your family, who's steering you away? No one.
Sure.
Right? There is only judgment around
Sure.
you. So how will you find your center? And I think I studied, and I like autobiographies a lot. And I used to feel that every time the person who's on the top, if I'm studying that person goes and talks about books. So they spend a certain amount of the day in reading.
So what are some of your favorite books?
Like the Think and Grow Rich,
Think
right?
Rich,
And so there is another book from the Napoleon Hill, the 3 Feet from Gold. So
Yes.
it's a similar one.
I remember that story because that story is in the Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
That's how 3 feet away or 1
From
feet
gold.
away, he just sold everything and went away.
Went
That
away.
story is like
Exactly, yeah. So those things, you keep doing it, you're not getting the results. And then maybe you're that close to getting the results and you give up. So I think those kind of things, and those are real life examples. And I don't think anybody can give you all that information, all that knowledge in one place. Books are the place to go.
And books is also, people might think it's just a book, but it also creates an environment in your mind.
It does. I have about 40 to 50 self-help books. People can judge me for self-help books, but these are the set of books when I don't know the answer. I just pick up one of those books and then just stay there, about leadership, about how to create impact, how to create influence, how to create teams. So if I'm in that role, if I'm working with people, if I'm working with creating teams all the time, what can I do? I have to be my best. And that's where I think the books come into picture. Joel Osteen is another one. Your Best Life Now. I think I'm spiritual in nature. Growing up, every Sunday we used to go to Nirankari Bhavan and we used to do seva. So I think not God, but the spirituality made a big difference in my life. And I felt that I could receive the same messages from those books.
And what drives you to do all these things? Say to the pageant and then reading and working. What is that driving force?
I think it's the impact that I've started seeing my work creates. I thought I was doing only for myself. I thought I was doing only for my kids. I have 2 young kids. And I felt when I did the pageant, I thought I am doing it for my daughter. And I thought I was doing it for my kids, that, at any age, you can rediscover yourself. This fashion was never part of my plan. This was never part of my growing up. It was never there. But something I took a chance that maybe I can. Just putting yourself on that stage was something very different.
Yeah, it needs a lot of courage.
And just putting out there judge me. And then you look yourself in the mirror, you go deep down and prepare to be judged. And I thought I was doing it for my kids because I just wanted to set an example for my daughter that no matter what happens, if you feel like taking another step, go do it. Be fearless about it. But what started happening was a lot of people started seeing the difference because I was doing it. I started seeing the impact. And then that impact just kept asking me to come back and do it again. I thought I would not do it next year, but it's been 6 years I've been doing it. And same thing with SETU. I could not do it at that time because there were a lot of logistics issues because SETU was always on the Boston side. I was on the west side. And that's when I think 3 years ago, this initiative happened where, we said, let's start doing something on the west side. So I spearheaded that initiative and brought together about 24 artists who are doing the mainstream SETU right now.
Oh, excellent.
And then even the patrons from West Side, they did not know a lot about SETU, even though SETU was a big name, but we did not have any production in the West Side. So 3 years back, I started this production, the Mini Love, where I played this role of a prostitute. We brought it back to the West Side. And Hush Hush was also done at the Hanover Theatre, Brick Box last year.
The Hush Hush was the one which is based on the Chupke Chupke.
Chupke Chupke movie.
Yeah, I love that movie, and then I did. It was really.
Yeah, it was the most amazing, I think, production we have done. This was the first time we were doing it, but I think it was very well welcomed. And now we have people in the West Side, on my Shrewsbury and Westboro area, who ask, when is your next production? and said we had never thought that we would come all the way to Watertown to watch anybody play, but now their friends are in those shows. So I think we have built that relationship, that impact has been created, that path has been created, and I just hope I keep doing it, and I keep making space for other folks as well.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Now, we are coming close to the end of our interview, but I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Since you talked about your hidden desire in the beginning, do you have any other hidden desire? For example, if God comes to you and say, Mukta, ask me what you want for, and you have your chance, what you will ask for and why?
That's a tricky question.
Well, that's sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the other hidden desires is, again, that impact, taking people together is something that I would want to continue. Maybe make some movies, because I don't know if I will be able to do these things, but something I would want to explore, right? And then just creating that environment of kindness and compassion, like everybody just be kind, don't judge, those kind of things that I feel if I'm able to foster that kind of environment, that would be my desire.
I think I'm glad you mentioned judging. I think that is one of the most toxic thing one can do.
One can do, yes.
In the family, in the friend circle, in the community, wherever you live,
Yes.
the judgment is, and most of the time we are always wrong.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you're right.
So how do you, and natural human instinct is to judge, when you see something and already make. So how do you fight how to not to judge?
I don't think you can fight it. I think you can just empower yourself. One thing that I've just started learning, that be kind. It's a very simple 2 words. I never knew what is the meaning. You understand, yes, be kind, be empathetic. But there is always something going on in somebody's life. You don't know that.
You don't know. Sure.
You don't know that. Every person that is out there walking on the streets or driving a car who has a road rage at that time, he has something going on. You can judge all you want, but there is something. So maybe cut some slack. I am just that judging is very easy. That's the easiest path to do. The tough part is not to judge, right? So be kind and empathetic, give some slack, things will get better. Why judge? Give some time.
Sure. Mukta, thank you so much, and we will see you on March 8th.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to see you and meet all the other awesome women.
Excellent.